Game number 1, everybody. We have Division S coming up, and we see Go Next against Nothing Left. Go Next, on the other hand, today without Wit. Wit is not playing here today, which is a little bit unfortunate. I was looking forward to his frontline plays, so we'll check that out. But at this point, let's have a bit of a look at what's going on here with Nothing Left against Go Next. Go Next, always the team that does well in all the tournaments. They are usually pretty successful in those, and in Division S, it feels like they're always so close to securing themselves a big victory. But right now they go up against Nothing Left, who had, of course, a fantastic season. So the big question is still, can they pull that off? It's a good ban against Tracer, on the other hand. We have seen a lot of DAB early on Tracers with double support or Tacita plus a main support here from them. So we'll actually see this time how they have to move away from that. Nothing Left it is. At this point already, we are having Hanzo banned out as well. We are on Dragonshire, so that immediately lets us to think about, well, Maiev, amongst other things. I mean, the standards, but also in addition to that, obviously Rexa, Dehaka, Globus in general, Urel for the top lane, maybe even amongst the normal ones. So we'll see. And obviously the setup that we have, I mean, Nothing Left is pretty insane. This entire team is just absolutely crazy. There are a couple of moments or a couple of matches lately where they were struggling a bit more than expected, but let's see. Zeratul gets banned out. We're actually pretty much back to the standard, to be honest. The patch shook things up a little bit, and some of the drafts really look different. I mean, Maiev and Zeratul have both been falling in priority in some of the maps, or some of the matches. On some of the games, they are exactly prioritized the same way that they were before the patch. One of the things that hasn't really changed, though, is that Podibos likes his Rexa, and on this map in particular, basically guarantees you a victory on the top lane. And with that, the 4-man is under pressure from the opponent's perspective. So let's see how this is going to work out for Go Next. Because if you don't ban out Rexa, you know that that's coming. We have Anubarak taken. We have also Skynox locking down Ana for the team. Which is another interesting one, because Ana, honestly, after her grenades and her heals have been nerfed a little bit in the last patch, has started to fall slightly in priority. She was still picked, but we didn't really see her as an insta pick or ban anymore. Liming taken, which also makes sense, so Ana can't drop the nano boost onto her. You have still an opportunity to ban out Jaina if you're worried about that nano boost on any of the heroes, if you are Nothing Left. They're also getting the ban, oh sorry, the pick on Johanna now. Muradin was another hero always consider on Dragonshire, especially now that the hero obviously got changed as well and improved by quite a bit. Here's the Malfurion ban, which leaves us with Tyrande. Tyrande with Jojo and Rexa if they want to go for that. But Linked obviously has a couple of additional options that he can pull out if he wants to. Rhaegar on this map has seen quite a lot of play because the Lightning Shield helps you to get those additional Bruiser camps and also the Siege Giant camp itself. So the camp clear is obviously valued. There's the Jaina ban as expected. I mean, Liming gets picked, Jaina gets banned, so you have to really think, okay, who are we going to put into play so that Ana gets value out of the nano boost? There's definitely still options around, but those are the two big ones, and they have been both taken away now, which puts Go Next into, well, a little bit more pressure now that they have to think about which hero they really want to go for here. And let's see what we're going to have with that. Genji and Junkrat, alright. Kelvin and Galaxy here with the damage. Genji also another hero that can be really good against Rexa because he has those quick rotations towards the top lane, and if your solo laner can set anything up against Rexa and then Genji jumps in too, you can put Rexa under a lot of pressure and maybe get the kill. So it's definitely one of those heroes that can threaten the solo lane with quick rotations, but you have to keep those coming continuously or Rexa is, as mentioned before, winning that lane easily. Phoenix Tyrande, DAB with a little bit more auto attack at this point. And yeah, let's see how that's gonna work out now with the last pick. I mean, we still need someone to deal with Rexa topside, and it's gonna be ETC. The offlane ETC with a stage dive then later on, very likely, as we're heading into Dragonshire. Our first map in the best of 5 series, everybody. So let's jump in and have a look who's going to take the lead in this best of 5 series here in Division S Europe. Game number 1, Kelvin on Genji. 4 go next. We're seeing Galaxy on Junkrat, Toulouse on Anubarak, and Copenhagen on ETC with Skynox on Ana. On the right side of the map, on the other hand, nothing left with Poribos on Rexa. We have Mopsio on Johanna here with a Hold Your Ground on level 1. DAB on Phoenix, Blakitney on Liming, and Linked is playing Toranda. Alright, hype for this one. Let's see what Go Next can pull off here. But yeah, at this point, I'm still very eager to see how that top lane is going to go, because Rexa, even though the hero... I mean, people are used a little bit more to the hero now, but it should still be a bit of a dominant performance. And look at that, we actually have the level 1 talent taken despite the fact that it got nerfed on the cooldown. 12 seconds now for the automatic spawn on the Beetle, but against Li Ming, still something that Toulouse wanted to take here. Top lane, that's where we're currently seeing Copenhagen on his ETC. As expected before, he will take the solo lane for his team. And Genji will have to rotate up every now and then. Level 1 talent for ETC also going into the block party here. So we're not seeing the proc rock that normally is being claimed for the extra heals later on in the game. Down at the bottom of the maps though, or in the middle, still a little bit of aggression here. And Blakitney with his Liming setup as DAB is working in with an auto attacker once again and trying to get the value here for his team. Top side, I feel like Copenhagen is going to suffer a lot unless those rotations keep coming. What I like is that Nothing Left is aiming already for camp. Super early in the game, a minute in, and they immediately say, Siege Giants, that's ours right there. So, with that said, we're having in the middle still... I mean, it's still a bit of poke here. We have now also the Bruiser camp already attacked by Go Next. We're seeing on the right side the similar situation now with DAB and Linked, so it's not only one camp, they're going for both of them. And they will claim 2. As the first objective is on the map, and Toulouse is trying to sneak the Dragonite, but can't really make that happen since Blakitney has already taken over the bottom shrine together with Mopsio. So there was an immediate reaction by this. But in the past, this is one of those situations where you could honestly see someone just sneak in an early Dragonite just because someone didn't pay attention, rotated too late, and then got punished for it. The level 4 talent, we have the debilitating dart at this point. Alright. So we'll see how much he can put that to good use here. Definitely a little bit of a move away from the traditional Ana build that we've seen so far in the past. Also coming, of course, because those changes have come through. Kelvin is in trouble, and whew, that stun missed him. But yeah, he was already receiving a lot of damage, and that's not the only one. I mean, look at that setup topside. That's 4 heroes just murdering it together with that aura that they're getting from the Bruiser camp. And that's a wall at least destroyed. And everybody else is still slow on the rotation here. Yeah, Galaxy is coming in on Junkrat, but at the top side the wall is down. And if you get that fountain, that pretty much means that ETC doesn't have a chance in the world anymore. They're not even going to stop at that fountain. They get the kill against the Nubarak. I mean, what the hell? There's the warp in, and Kelvin, yeah, trying to mount up here, barely survives this. I can tell you he's not going to survive here. That's the fort. The fort is already down. I mean, that was a quick one. That's a 3-minute fort that they're currently getting here. And that means that the top lane is now completely lost. If you don't even have your fountain anymore on the top lane to deal with that, you are in trouble. Dragonite is now channeled as well, and we're having the potential kill against Skynox. Barely dodged by the move from Galaxy here, pushing them out. But Dragonite in the mid lane right now, and Nothing Left is opening this up with an absolute bang. I mean, come on, that's rough. That's a rough start here for Go Next. That is definitely not what they expected. Also, at the same time, we at least got earlier the info with apparently is really out of the team as it seems. So I haven't really heard any confirmation from that, but that's at least what we've been told so far. According to chat, there was personal differences, and we're currently not part of the lineup of Go Next anymore. Instead, this is the future main lineup of Go Next. And yeah, I'm going to try and confirm that later on with Heroes Launch as well, but so far I have very little reason to actually doubt that info. So they obviously will need a little bit of time to mesh together perfectly, especially since it was definitely not the skill of Wit was a problem there. His performance on Tyrael in particular, but other heroes as well, was pretty much impeccable. but things might not have worked out for the team as a 5-man as much as they were hoping for. But either way, going up against nothing left is a tall order in any case, but obviously gonna make even a little bit more harder by not playing with that old lineup that definitely was more of a well-oiled machine than what we're seeing right now. That can of course change, but at least for the time being, they're struggling here a bit. 2 forts down this early in the game, now another invade, but the kill against Misha. He didn't get a real hero though, and Blakitny obviously wants resets, and he actually gets some. Down goes Anubarak, and another potential kill, but it's Li Ming that falls instead, and the fight is still ongoing. The problem is that in the meantime, we're still having the attack of the camp through the bottom. There's the kill against Genji as DAP warps in, and Link survived through all of this. Kopenmark is still on the run, but this could be another fort eliminated, and nothing left is absolutely killing it here right now. This is pretty rough. Nothing left is just playing this absolutely perfect. They have the aggression when they need it. They took 2 camps in the time that Go Next took 1 in the early stages of the game. Capitalized then on that fact by pushing through the top lane with the help of that particular camp, and were easily able to take the first fort, a couple of kills, the first Dragonite, and it kind of snowballs from there. I mean, they have level 10 already. They're more than a level ahead 5 minutes and 40 seconds into the game, and obviously with this lineup now, they can just go super deep. The salvo is already connecting. We have the falling sword on the side of Johanna, so Mopsio is going for the aggressive variation. Li Ming in the meantime has taken another Siege Giant camp, and as they are starting to put the damage onto the wall, they're starting to move away from this. Dragon Knight could potentially be up again, but with level 10, what exactly is Gonex going to do here? They have to really put a numeric advantage on one of the shrines if they want to have a hope to stall it out long enough, but it doesn't really seem like they can pull it off. Already Dragon Knight is getting channeled, and there it is. DK taken, and they're starting to move through the mid lane here. All the forts are gone. I mean, this is a pretty insane setup here in the early game for nothing left. It doesn't really get any better than what we're seeing here for them at this point. So they're starting to move through with the DK down to the bottom of the map. The wall has already been severely damaged, so it seems like they're trying to aim for the first keep here. But the heroic abilities are at least ready for Go Next, so that gives them a fighting chance going into this. And yep, there we have it. Down go at least the 2 towers, the 2 turrets. Can they get a little bit more? Rip Tire, stage dive, doesn't hit anything. The stun comes through, and Blakitny nearly falls, keeps himself alive for a little bit longer. And this is actually not looking too bad. Blakitny might die, but it looks like Genji is not going to survive this either. And there's the kill against Li Ming, and also against Tyrande. Oh, that could hurt, and that's gonna hurt. There's the immediate setup with a salvo, and there's the double kill. Genji and Ana down. I was actually surprised that Genji especially didn't fall sooner. Li Ming only died because of all the Junkrat grenades that we saw there. But they can't get the keep here, as it seems. They're trying to get a kill against Anubarak on the other hand, and that might be a successful attempt, and indeed it is. The bug is down, and they are aiming for Junkrat. The problem is that it's Phoenix in this case who falls. Mopsio himself is also in trouble. Podibos is trying to help out here, and he is able to assist Mopsio in escaping. Or is he? The grenades are still there, and Mopsio's a bit low, but is able to move away from this. So they are on level 13 talents nearly. They haven't taken the keep at the bottom of the map. It was a bit tricky for them. But what a fight here. 4 kills against 6. Let me take a quick look at the damage also in a second. Talents here, by the way. Having now also the Dire Beast taken on level 13. Besides that, what I'm going to see for Jojo and for Phoenix, let's look at the damage first of all. 29,000 for Phoenix. I mean, he is murdering it. That salvo, the last one in particular, did so much work. And really prepared the kills then too. Also with Johanna and the Falling Sword, keep in mind that the level 20 is really where a lot of the fun is then finally for her. Because if she gets that cooldown reduction through with the ult, we're talking about a 10-second ult quite often, and then you can just absolutely destroy. But either way, with that said, we're having our level 13 talents now with the Dampening Field and also the Roar taken. And yeah, it's time to shine. Another objective is about to pop up again, and they're already prepping with taking mercenary camps here. 13 talents are now on both sides, which definitely gives them a bit of a fighting chance at this point. But yeah, there we have already the Eradicating Spines and the Shingan as well. But the push to the bot lane, again with the help of a camp. This is a little bit of an MO that we've now seen multiple times by Nothing Left. Going for one of the Bruiser camps, taking the Spell Aura and using it to push through. And they are 5-manning the bot lane right now. They want that keep. ETC can obviously jump in with a stage dive. 2 globes away from the Hunter-Gatherer to be completed. That would be fantastic for them too. Here comes the stage dive. Slide potentially, and there's the ult from Johannes. The Falling Sword goes into the backline, and the attempt of Phoenix to capitalize on it with a quick salvo, and that got shut down quickly. Phoenix is dead, Taluf still able to move out, and they're getting the second kill. Kidney is now down 2, that's 2 heroes eliminated, and all of a sudden Go Next fighting back. In comes Kelvin, and they will get linked, obviously. That's 3 kills now, and potentially even lead an experience, honestly, for Go Next, as they still hold on to their keep at the bot lane and are now also starting to demolish the top lane themselves by using that camp that they took earlier, and they're going for the first Dragonite. Galaxy is trying to get it, and he will. And there we go, Go Next is back to business. Go Next is back to business. That was... honestly, I didn't expect that. If you consider how the early game went, them coming back into this was more than questionable. But they are currently looking strong here. They are actually able to win the last 2 fights. They were in the defensive position on the keep at the bottom of the map, and they were holding for a long time. Now they have an opportunity to try and get a few structures themselves. But actually, so far, the defense is pretty solid. Nothing Left is setting something really nice up there, and that Dragonite just gets murdered. They don't get anything out of that thing. I mean, we have still Genji in the middle trying to push the lane out and ETC's top side, but now we have Johanna falling in deep, quite literally, with a falling sword. There's also, once again, the ult on Rexstar. ETC doesn't hit anything. Ana is already dead as he lands, and that is bad news. That's really bad news. 16 talents are ready on both sides. Epicenter is now there too, but all of a sudden, we're having Go Next in full retreat, even with a Dragonite. They just don't stand a chance here, it seems. We are about to see a keep fall. Potentially, at least, that is. I mean, they're waiting for another wave. Misha might actually die here. Yeah, gets taken out. But this is starting to look a little bit rough. That Dragonite didn't do jack shit. They didn't even take a fort with it. An 11-12 minute Dragonite, they didn't take anything. That Salve, on the other hand, could have been better too. They only go for Taluf here. They get some damage against him. Here comes the laser showers. Kidney is trying to take down Kelvin, and nearly was able to do that. The poke against the keep, still successful, but they're going for the Siege Giant camp now instead to have another potential push through the bot lane with the help of the mercenaries. And yeah, they're still looking pretty strong here. In comes again the jump onto Junkrat. Johanna with the Iron Skin moving out, gets the Condemn through, and here come the Boars once more. Copenhagen gets attacked. They're trying to push through, wait for the next minion wave as well. If they can get the key, that would be fantastic. But the aggression that we're seeing from Nothing Left just hasn't really stopped here. They're eventually starting to move back because they have most of the ults already used, and they're fully aware that at least the Nubarak still has the Cocoon up, and that also Nano Boost wasn't used in a while, so they don't really want to risk to go up against the opponent's lineup without their own heroics. But yeah, they're definitely starting to fight this again. And their defense against that DK was fantastic. So for now, they're taking camp after. Let's look at experience here, because honestly, the mercenary experience should be heavily in their favor. Yeah, look at the difference here. That is insane. They have more than twice the experience amount through mercenaries that we're seeing from Go Next. This is just one indication of how well they're currently playing around the mercenaries on the map. And they're burning this one down topside within seconds, so that doesn't even give any value to their opponent. And their own camp is coming again, and that's the setups that they've been using now multiple times. ETC is trying to fend this, but if they rotate now down in the meantime, they have another shot at the keep. That's what they're doing. Their own Siege Giants are moving in. Yeah, they go for the Dragonite instead. They go for the DK at this point, starting to make the move over. Nobody sitting in the mid lane, and well, as I say, it's actually Liming who starts to rotate in. And if they can claim the bottom shrine, then that's pretty much another DK for Nothing Left. ETC with the stage dive comes in. They're trying to go for the play. Yeah, top lane camp is still doing pressure though, and here comes an attempt for a noob, and he goes down. So does Phoenix though. Phoenix down and Uberak down. ETC getting attacked. Blake Kidney missing some of the damage, but goes for Kelvin and gets the resets. And that's 2 heroes eliminated. Still the pressure at the top, but not enough to really break through the wall. But down here, they might get ETC. They should get ETC, and they do get ETC. And that's not the only kill that they get. They go for a full quad kill here. Only Galaxy surviving, but there is absolutely no doubt that this time that keep is falling. And honestly, with 20 seconds, they could go core. And they're looking for it. They're looking for the core. It's only Junkrat that is still there, and they don't really care about this, apparently. They're starting to go for the shield. 10 seconds for Nubarak to be back. They might not quite be able to completely take it down, maybe only damage it, but nah, what am I talking about here? 90% already. He's still setting Misha straight onto Junkrat, but as you can see, that core is falling quickly. Do they have the setup, though? 8 seconds for Genji to come back, but yeah, 40%, even with the epicenter, you're not going to get enough here. They're going to go for the kill. They're going to get game number 1. There's absolutely no chance at this point anymore for the blue team to defend this, and indeed they cannot. This is game, nothing left with the lead against Go Next in the best of 5 at Division S. Game number 2, everybody! We're heading into Sky Temple. Nothing left has the lead. And a little bit of a correction. Again, it's just like grapevine stuff, but apparently Wit is taking a break from Heroes due to personal reasons, so I'm not quite sure if there were any problems within the team or not. Matter of fact is that apparently he's taking a bit of a break, and currently the lineup that we're seeing for Go Next is rumored to be the full and stable lineup for them for the future. So I don't want to spread any rumors here that there were some problems within the team. That's just the way that it was kind of conveyed at the start, but again, the whole story isn't quite obvious here. Matter of fact for us is that seems to be the lineup that they're playing with for now that we have here. And they nearly got a comeback with it. I mean, they had a couple of really cool fights when they were holding on to that bottom key, but obviously Nothing Left enters this particular series as the favorite and has so far been able to deliver. They had a couple of hiccups in game number 1 when they nearly allowed Go Next to come back into it, but generally speaking, they were in control of most of it for a long, long time. So with Ana being banned, we have actually Abathur also banned out, so no Abathur, Samuro, Dehaka shenanigans, nothing on those lines. So we'll see how exactly that's gonna work out now for Nothing Left, as they're obviously also having another chance to go into a bit of a global play here. I mean, first pick, first ban went over to Go Next, so Nothing Left chose the map, so they probably have a bit of a strategy prepared for this one, and usually globals play a huge role here. Maiev maybe? ETC. Zeratul and Maiev, both open. Both of them open at this point. Okay. Which means that we could see some setups around Zeratul plus Jaina. Already the question, what does Go Next pick first? You kind of want to pick Maiev here. If you don't pick Maiev, Blakidney is going to pick Maiev and is going to rip you a new one. But now obviously Zeratul is open, and no matter what you do, there will be a great setup hero on the side of Nothing Left. So it is an interesting setup now. There's a Nubarak. What do they get with that? Are we gonna get some setup around Zeratul with the Void Prison? So far that's not the case. It's more a snipe combo with the Nubarak and Tyrande. I don't really want to call it old school, but it's what we've seen with the Nubarak for the longest time. So the question is more so, what's happening after that? Are we going to still see Zeratul entering the arena, for example? Is it going to be a Jaina at some point that follows up with the damage on what we are seeing here from Nothing Left? That's another question. But yeah, Sky Temple picks on Diablo and Malfurion. Okay. Again, keep in mind that also boss control is quite important here with the heroes that you have, and that's something where Nubarak can definitely help out with a good Cocoon. Apocalypse on Talouf's side is also, of course, another great tool for that. Sky Temple oftentimes ends up in a fight over the boss at some point, and if you have good boss control or good point control, then you can oftentimes change the game a little bit. But Globals is another aspect to be considered here. Jaina actually getting banned out by Nothing Left. They have the next 2 picks, so they don't want to go into that damage follow-up. Li Ming gets banned. That doesn't surprise me at all, but that can't surprise Nothing Left either. So they were probably very well aware that that would happen, and now I'm really curious what the damage is going to be for them. With that setup, traditionally you would go into burst. Lucio and Cassia, double support here. So they can actually run around pretty quickly with this, and I'm immediately thinking Greymane here. Whenever I see a Lucio with this, well, Greymane... Can you play Greymane with this? Solo and Nubarak with a double support would work out, but then who's going to take the offlane? Is that going to be Greymane? Are they going to get someone else in there? I expected a global. I don't think we're going to see that. Well, we see it on the side of Go Next. They go for the double, actually. Tehaka and Falstad, both of them, trying to out-global their opponent. And nothing left. The reason why I say Greymane is that Lucio can, of course, speed you up, and one of the plays in the past was that you're trying to run around your opponent, and you're using Greymane to try and take down structures. But instead, we're seeing the Vikings. Okay, guys, we are in for a bit of a treat. A double global for Go Next, and nothing left goes for the Vikings on the last pick. With Lucio Toranda, a double support Cassia. I mean, I'm game. Let's go. Game number 2, Sky Temple in our best of 5 here in Division S. Game number 2, and nothing left, went for a wild one. First of all, on the left side, we have Go Next with Copenhagen on Dehaka, Teluv on Diablo, Skynox on Malfurion, and Kelvin on Maiev with Galaxy on Falstad. Double global for the blue team, and on the other side, Podibos on the Vikings. Mopsy on Nubarak, Blickitni on Tyrande, and we're seeing Cassia played by DAB with the double support as the oversized minion is sneaking its way into the game as well. Lucio is being played here, so it can definitely speed them up and make those rotations a little bit smoother and quicker. So we're going to see that. At the same time, something happened that happens to me quite a bit. Like, I don't know if I actually talked about this in-game. I think off-stream I talked about it a little bit. I have the tendency that during games I take my socks off, and I don't really know why exactly that happens, but usually I realize that pretty quickly. And right now my feet are getting cold because one of my socks is literally lying next to my mouse on the mouse pad. So I'm gonna put that on real quickly because it's getting a little bit cold. And yeah, you don't really need it to know that, but at the same time I felt I'm going to share a little bit. That might be a TMI moment, but again, it is important to me that you know what you go through as a caster when you are commentating those games. There's problems that people just don't realize exist because they don't have vision on them. But yeah, talking about having vision, Maiev so far keeps herself in the bush and makes sure that she's not moving out too far, so she doesn't get jumped by the Nubarak and Tyrande combo, which is kinda important. The Viking setup is going to keep the experience on the lanes, and that allows the 4-man to rotate around. This is where Lucio comes into play, because he can speed things up a little bit. But against the double global, that Lucio lineup is, or the Vikings lineup, is going to be really important. Okay, I am very, very interested to see what's going to happen here. Because if you show me that particular lineup and give me 2 teams that are on eye level, I would be like, I'm not quite sure what's happening here. But especially when it comes to the formerly mentioned boss control, I would definitely give Go Next more than a little bit of an advantage, considering that they have Gust, that they have Isolation, and well, Apocalypse potentially, and all that stuff happening here. So it will be an interesting lineup for sure. Podibos is all over the place. This is a fun thing about playing the Vikings, by the way. Whenever you have a Vikings player, if you ever want to shut someone up in Heroes of the Storm, if you have a teammate that just talks too much all the time, let him play Vikings. Believe me, it takes about 2 minutes and that guy is not going to say a single word anymore until the game's over. That's usually what happens there. You're like in your comfort zone, you're super focused, and you're just like, guys, shut the fuck up. I need to concentrate here, I need to control 3 lanes, leave me alone, I can't talk right now. And that's normally what happens when anybody plays the Vikings. And then once the game's over, you all of a sudden hear him talk again, and that's usually the case. I'm not quite sure if that's true for Podibos, but that's true for most players. Some of the old Warcraft 3 and StarCraft 2 RTS legends, they might have a little bit more of multitasking available there, but for most guys that's still the case. That's a big boy tether, by the way, straight into a nice setup, and the oversized minion is dead already. First victim in the game right there. Lucio is down, and yeah, nearly got the second kill against Blickitni, but he moved out. So that was a good tether into a Skynox route, and they're trying to go for the same setup again, and Mopsio is already low, waiting for the cooldown to escape here. Blickitni covering with a quick attempt at a stun, and actually successfully lands that one. The Vikings by now, by the way, with a Mercenary Lord. And yeah, Vikings so far still doing their thing, but down to the bottom of the map, as you can see, Falstad has already taken one tower down, and now we're having still the play for those shrines. Dibbles is getting attacked here. Kelvin is looking for another tether with Maiev and gets it against DAB. That's the root on. That synergy between the two of them is really something. I mean, they are honestly locking this down quite nicely. Every single time there's a tether, there's a root. So the two of them come hand in hand. With that, we're having now again another play against Mopsio, and he is under a lot of pressure. Again, bullied around, tethered back in, DAB also on the run. And the strategy of Go Next seems to be simple. They're looking at the lineup of nothing left and they're saying, boys, we got 1 damage dealer. And if DAB is on the run, he can't do damage. So they're just jumping on him the entire time, trying to take him down. 7 versus 7. And guess who died again? It's Lucio. Alright. Lucio is dead again, and with that we're now having 2 kills against 0, still nearly even experience. Taluf on the other hand, ooh, oh, he actually went for this one, alright. Could have totally seen that backfire, and yep, it looks like it's gonna backfire for sure. That's a kill against Diablo. They're trying to go for Kelvin. Falstad is flying in, goes for Blakidney, and where's the stun? Not there! Ooh, the barrel roll! And Blakidney survives. Even Eric survives. Yes, he's trying to get some damage in. Copenhagen, on the other hand, is looking a little bit like he is going to bite the dust here eventually. His toe gets the heal, but it's a bit too late. Down at the bottom of the map, that's a nice sneak that we had from Falstad apparently with a wingman, so there's damage there. The Vikings have returned the favor. Talking Vikings, Podibos is already pushing Kelvin out here, who's all of a sudden realizing that Balog has a bit of damage himself. Nice shots fired, but both of those forts take damage. The problem is Balog goes down, this fort is saved, and the one to the bottom right has fallen. So a nice advantage for Go Next as they are taking a solid lead from a structural perspective. They are behind in experience. Not by a lot, don't get me wrong, but they are slightly behind. Vikings by now also with 17 stacks on the Viking Horde. So it's all about the health regeneration that you get increased there. Definitely helps you to be annoying, especially as the game of course continues. But yeah, with that said, we're having now also the spin to win for the Vikings. Keep in mind, usually we're looking at level 16 for Olaf, and the Vikings really join the team fights thanks to the large and in charge and that extra stun that you get through that. So again, approach against Dibbles, who's by now fully stacked on the souls. Linked already, getting tethered again. The attack against DAB, and DAB gets saved for a bit longer and gets the damage in against Taluf. Stun after stun comes in, but a nice boomerang is nearly dropping Lucio. And actually that's quite understandable. I mean, what's one of the main reasons why you take Boomerang? One of the main reasons is that you're trying to take the backline minions down. And as we said multiple times now in the past, Lucio at the end of the day is nothing else but an oversized minion. So naturally Boomerang is extremely good against him. That is an extremely good gust into an Apocalypse on the other hand. The problem is that we already have a very nice attempt. Cassia dies anyways. I was just about to say the attempt here with a Cocoon to actually counter that wasn't really too bad, but now the main damage dealer is down. There's still, of course, the pressure play through at least the Vikings. And keep in mind that the top fort has also fallen. So it's not like we're not seeing any action from nothing left. They're still ahead, or well, on even experience at least. It's a structural situation that is more concerning, but that global aspect is definitely a bit of a problem. The Vikings are obviously being hunted here the entire time, but right now we're still seeing their rogue abilities in play on both sides, as we already had them in the last fight. Vikings are back at the top. Galaxy already pushing this out. Podibos is playing this super safe, and the takeover at the bottom of the map as the temple is now being captured. Copenhagen is sitting there. They're trying to go for Nubarak. The problem is that there's a lot of heroes against only 2, and Copenhagen is trying to survive this, but yeah, he shouldn't be able to survive this at all. Not with this many heroes trying to go for it. And yep. Oh, what? The Haka actually survives. You gotta be kidding me. And Kelvin survives too. No way. In comes the Cocoon, and they didn't get a single kill. They got a lot of the shots here, but they didn't get a single kill. The Vikings are still busy on the map, but you got to be joking. Both Dehaka and Maiev just survived this. That's pretty harsh. Yeah, and the shots got fired, and that is now eliminating another fort on the map. So 2 forts down against 1. And the aggression here in the middle against the... Ooh, nice. Good attempt here against the AB, but obviously Celestial Attunement. Another stun connects, and that's 12 by now, by the way, for Tyrande. Eric at the top lane is dealing with the camp and with the experience, and also with the rest of the minions. Trying to get the lane experience too. They have their earlier level 13. The Vikings so far are doing pretty well. Again, I want to see the 16. I want to see Large in charge. I want to see how Podibos plays around that, how aggressive they are with the Vikings once that they have the opportunity to use them in the team fight. Already Jump is in, and that really helps, of course, with the defense. The Burning Rage at the same time, and we're still having the Grounding Bolt now. With everything else that we have for that build, that extra slow is definitely going to work for them. Obviously going to try and get those charged strikes into play. 13 on both sides now. The Nubarak again with the stuns needs to be a little bit careful around Diablo. Diablo pressured him a lot. There's the ult. Kopmar comes in. Vikings still on the lane. Kopmar in a bit of trouble. Had to pop the essence here and is in pressure. And the cage after the tether. Apocalypse comes in. Lucio with the ult. Nice setup by him. The sound barrier was solid, but DAB is in trouble. DAB gets out. They're actually retreating from this as the Vikings still make their play on the map. Yep, Vikings in the middle, Vikings at the top, still with the damage, still with the push, still with the pressure, and no kill for Go Next in that 5 versus 4 setup at the bottom of the map here. A great combo with a tether into the cage and the Apocalypse, but Lucio actually with a fantastic sound barrier here, helping the team out quite a bit. Now there's a lot of pressure on that wall, and Galaxy had to move over to help out with this, but that also means that they have to retreat from the bottom of the map, where an easy fort is now claimed by nothing left. They get the fort, they get the fountain, and they can still rotate into the middle if they want here, or simply push the bot lane and force a reaction from their opponent. One of the Vikings is already sitting bot side to try and get some pressure here too. And they're continuing the trend. They're starting to move in for this. Falstad obviously can fly out. Galaxy has dealt with the situation. Eric is being swift in the middle. Another move by Balog as he pushes this one out, and down at the bottom there is still some aggression against Taluf and the wall itself. 15 against 14. They're playing the macro game. They're playing the Vikings game. They're playing it well right now. The aggression against Mopsio, but Taluf can't really do too much yet. He doesn't have 16. He doesn't have any chance to go for the reset here. More shots fired against the fountains, and if you're looking at the map from a structural perspective, it's pretty much even. Here comes the rotation again with the attempt to go for a quick fight. Shots are fired once more, but Kopmark is also in trouble. First stun comes out. In comes Dibbles, and the kill attempt against Cassia, but once more, Lucio with a play. DAB gets flipped over and survives for now, but falls finally, as we still see his ult do a little bit more work. The root against Mopsio delivers the second kill against the Nubarak. The Vikings still pushing, keeping the team in play, but now we look at 6 kills against 2, but level 16 is about to drop. Here comes the play for the boss, as already mentioned earlier. Vikings immediately focusing onto the lanes here again, as we're seeing the rest of the team go straight for the mercenary camp. But now with a Large in charge, we have actually a chance to see the play again in action during those team fights, and a little bit more aggression around that setup. The bot lane, on the other hand, is going to be the focus in a few seconds for Go Next. With that boss, they have a good chance to take the first keep of the game. Falstad, in the meantime, is trying to take the top here. His wingman has so far not really helped him to claim that, so he needs to actually use the skills for that. Balog is pushing out the top lane. 6 kills against 2 and still even experience, but this is the problem. Yeah, that's the big deal here. Dealing with the boss is going to be the issue. We still don't have an Uberak with a quest completer on level 1, by the way, so he can't rely on those extra hit points that he would love to have in these team fights, but he has the epicenter now too. So it's not only about what we are seeing from the Vikings with the Large in charge, but this is another big tool. Falstad is flying in. Vikings so far not done anything here. Here comes again the ult. They're trying to go for the kill against the Haka. The Haka is already a little bit low, but it still moves out. And here comes the Vikings. Vikings come in. Large in charge comes in immediately. The boss still fighting as they're trying to go for the quick kill here. Taluf, and once again Falstad with the disengage as he goes for the gust. They keep in the meantime still in play, and up to the top, Podibos still kept Olaf together with the camp, never used the ult, goes in, tries to get some value here, tries to go for the keep, and the fight is still ongoing down at the bottom of the map as we're having Dehaka in trouble again with the burrow, but there's the tether, there's the cage, there's the APOC, and there's the kill. Lucio goes down, DAB wants the counter kill, he's looking for it, top lane, and there's the bird is down, the bird is dead, and Kelvin is also low, he's trying to escape, Kelvin is on the run, Blake Kidney is saying, yep, that's not happening, he goes for the kill against Maiev, and in the meantime we have Diablo falling, Dehaka, it's only a matter of time until he dies, he's dead, so is Maiev, and guess what, up to the top lane, Balog has still murdered it. We're seeing Podibos also active in the middle as he goes for the next temple here. But that keep is taking damage. The wall has already fallen. There's another one that's already getting attacked. And guess what? Down to the bottom of the map, the picture doesn't look very different. Here is where we are seeing the rest of Nothing Left moving on for another keep. Taking structures down all over the place here. Balog finally falls towards Dibbles up top side. But there is pressure everywhere on the map right now. That keep is suffering at the bottom of the map. It's pretty much the same thing. Damage output, 100,000 nearly from Cassia. Absolutely killing it here. There's the Gus. Diablo in trouble though. And Mopsio is moving out again. Mid lane keep is not down yet. Bot lane keep isn't down yet either. They haven't taken one, but they have nearly level 20. And that Viking setup is really working for Nothing Left. They might have struggled earlier in those team fights, but they're doing a lot better right now. And I gotta say, once that we have a Nubarak also with a completed level 1 quest, he is going to be tough to kill here. That Epicenter turned a lot of things around, and so did obviously the Large and in Charge. And talking damage with the Martial Law now also being in play, with all those stuns that we are seeing, with all those slows, Bed of Barbs being a talent on level 4, the level 16 of Cassia is obviously helping her to totally murder heroes. And we're having Fury of the Storm taken, even more wave clear for the Vikings. In addition to that, the Rewind for Nubarak is another fantastic tool. And now with those level 20 talents, they can easily go for the bottom of the map and try and take that keep finally. And maybe even the middle. They're making the play onto Toulouse, one stun after another, Rewind being used, getting the second stun in. Nature's Cure is already being used by Malfurion, and it doesn't matter because there are too many stuns to clean out with that. And all of a sudden, with another Gust, they're buying themselves a bit more time, but that keep is obviously a goner. You look at the minimap and you see the Vikings active on all the lanes once more, as we have the pressure here at the bottom with the Siege Giants, and they're actually trying to go for core here. They're not even wasting their time with the keep in the middle. Instead, they're just going for the core here once again. The Vikings can still rotate over, can also use the ult if they want to, but the rotation is slowly happening. Vikings pressuring the middle, the keep is losing a few more hit points, the Dragon and Uberak as they're starting to go for even more structures. Already Olaf is moving down to the bottom shrine or the bottom temple, and up to the top. Podibos is pushing this out too. There's pressure on every single lane right now against the blue team, and Go Next is struggling with this. They need to force a fight and they will try. We have actually Vengeance taken here as a Shadow Orb on Maiev. In addition to that, we're now also seeing Balog fall. I mean, that was a given. He was pushing the top aggressively and sacrificed, but down here Olaf is going to get the push through. Rest of the team is in the middle and they're going straight for Kelvin, and the stun setup is perfect. Not even the wind tunnel can save Maiev here. And with that kill, the pressure through the bottom temple controlled by Nothing Left drops the keep in the middle and is now attacking the one at the top. The core is also getting attacked. Once again, the Cocoon on the ground as we're having another move against Copenhagen. The Haka's in trouble. Here comes the Hellgate as Diablo is trying to save him just for another moment. In comes the Burrow, but the Epicenter on the Nubarak as he charges in is dropping them. Apocalypse being used. Everybody moving out. The core is already taking damage as the shields are falling. Cassie on the other hand, she's down 114,000 damage in the game, but in this final fight, she gets dropped. And as the Vikings are actually fighting here, they're not taking those shrines anymore. All of a sudden, Nubarak is dead too. And with 97% on the core, we're having Go Next in a position where they can actually hold on to the game for a little bit longer. Podibos already on the move down to the bot lane, getting the final few shots in. Up at the top, Galaxy still there. Shields are recovering on the other hand. Finally, the shots fired, and with all of the keeps gone, this is the only thing that still stands between Nothing Left and victory. And the core is falling. Shot after shot comes in, but only drops it down to 70 points. 70%. Topside Galaxy is taking it, but now the Vikings are all over the place again. Viking pressure everywhere together with those additional catapults that are spawning continuously. And now we obviously have also a couple of additional camps taken. I mean, even with Cassia and the Nubarak down, the Vikings are still all over the place. They have the Fury of the Storm here, they have the spin to win, and they are absolutely killing it on siege damage. As you can see here, 157,000. It's a bit of a YOLO moment that we're seeing from Go Next. At some point, they have to decide whether they want to go for a Hail Mary move and attack, or if they're willing to carry this even later into the game. Because the Winions, the catapults, they're obviously a massive asset right now for nothing left. And in the long run, I honestly don't think that Go Next can play this game. In the long run, they will have to commit to a push somewhere. Try and get a team fight and a couple of kills. The boss is still a bit of a wild card on the game. Jump breaks the tether, but now they can try and play around this one. If they can get the boss, they might be able to end the game. But outside of that, it's going to be rough to go into the late game because the Vikings will always pressure you. So once again, we're having the setup here. Cassia, keep in mind, tons of damage. Tyrande, by the way, both of the main supports haven't fallen yet. Malfurion and Tyrande both surviving. And here's the play. Are they going to commit? Kind of have to. Yeah, at this point, Nubarak gets pushed in, is moving out, needs to be a bit careful, obviously. Oh, Cocoon already on the ground. Early on. Early Cocoon here from them. Not waiting for... Oh, the boss starting against 3! Oh, that hurts! And there's the Hellgate as they're trying to move away. Wind Tunnel used too early. Uh-oh, guys. Yes, you still have the Astral Communion on Malfurion. You have the Apocalypse, but this is spelling trouble. Taluf is down. Taluf is down, and that is game. That has to be game. That needs to be game. That will be game. Cassia is already about to drop the bird. Instead, we're having the Haka fall first. Apocalypse is being used by Diablo, but they're going for that boss, and they're going to get that boss. Kelvin jumps out, gets caught, and gets eliminated. Galaxy with a quick, sneaky attempt. That backfires, and now he's dead as well. Already we're seeing Podeboss up at the top, trying to go for that particular temple, and the boss is moving through the bottom of the map. This is going to be game. This is going to be the 2-0 lead, and what a setup here. And what a play. 134,000 damage by now by Cassia. They go for Dibbles again, and Taluf is falling. 13 kills against 10. They're going for Malfurion. Skynox gets murdered as well, which puts Cassia on 140,000 damage. The double shrines, the double temple are taken here on Sky Temple, and this is going to be the second victory for Nothing Left in this series. GG, and well played, as Nothing Left takes a 2-0 lead in the best of 5. Game number 3, guys. We're heading into Volskaya Foundry, and Nothing Left with a 2-0 lead here. Damn. It's actually pretty awesome to see that they were able to pull it off with the Vikings the way that they played it. So, pretty impressive, honestly, by Podeboss. It was a great game by him. And it was honestly a bit of a weird one, just generally speaking, but a fun one to observe for sure. Now we're having the same ban pattern for Go Next, and for good reason. You want to get rid of that Tracer. There is a reason Tracer gets banned out against DAB. You don't want to give him Tracer, especially not when we're heading into Volskaya. And as you can see that we're having actually first pick, first ban again for Go Next. It also means that Nothing Left has chosen the map here. So their map choice and the ban on Ana. So Ana is currently being banned out here, and now the main question: how is Go Next going to adjust their setup here? Hanzo, alright. I mean, Hanzo obviously great for the setup generally speaking on the map, and the poke from outside the checkpoint is pretty awesome as well. And what I'm going to have from Podeboss, what's going to be banned out now from their perspective. Maiev and Zeratul. Again, Zeratul wasn't even picked on the last map, but Maiev is obviously a bit of a concern. And Kelvin played well. I mean, they had a couple of really cool setups, especially in the early game when they got their kills. Are they risking the early Maiev pick? Nope. Nope, nope, nope. And then again, keep Raxa in mind. Raxa is actually another one that Podeboss could definitely take here again. On Volskaya. Thrall with the Crash Lightning is another potential pick, obviously. So yeah, let's see what Go Next is gonna add for the first pick. They have to make a bit of a choice there of how they want to play this. If they pick something away from Nothing Left, or if they go for their own setup with Zeratul this time. Okay, then immediate question becomes, of course, right away, how do you play with Jaina? Do you actually pick Jaina away now? Are we going to see some Rexa Jaina opening here, ignoring an Uberak? I don't really think so. But yeah. There is a good chance that GoNext is going to go... Okay, there we have it instead. There we got that with a quick Anubarak and Li Ming pick. So they leave Jaina open. They say that's fine. We had in the past Tyrael picks against that when you see the Zeratul plus Jaina combo that you can try and play around that with a good sanctification. But now they go for Li Ming and Uberak, so already very, very aggressive. There's the Jaina, there's the Diablo. They go for the full combo. They go for the full setup. Apocalypse and the Ring plus Zeratul. I mean, they go full wombo combo. And honestly, at this point, can we see the Tyrael on the off lane? That's pretty much my only question. We have seen Tyrael on off lanes quite a bit. So is Podibos willing to play that hero? Is that something that they feel fits the setup right now? Because if you have a combo like this for Go Next and you set that up, and then a Sanctification destroys it, you just wasted 2 to 3 cooldowns against 1. And that's a trade that you most of the time don't really want to take. So, and Rexa is banned out. Another reason why we might see a Tyrael here. What's it gonna be? That's the moment for Podibos to shine. Okay, Blaze. Okay, you get the bunker. And Tyrande for Linked. A Nubarak stun, Tyrande stun, Jet Propulsion, Bleak Kidney. I could have definitely seen the Tyrael with the Sanctification here. I mean, generally speaking, we had in the NA match that we casted earlier a couple of really nice Anduin ults as well to try and counteract a lot of the team fight action that we've seen there. Now, obviously, it's a little bit tricky to really pull that off properly if you're already going up against the Diablo with an Apocalypse and additional stuns potentially to come out that can drop you out of it, but still. Yeah, there's the Stuka for the silence on top of it too. And Skynox has actually played that hero quite a bit with his own personal touch to it. And we see Leo also getting dropped here. Alright, so with that said, one last pick on DAB side. A little bit of damage is usually what we're seeing here. And nothing left. They obviously want to have the 3-0 here. But let's see if they can pull that off. Damage for DAB. Unless he switches to Li Ming. But nope, we have Phoenix again. Phoenix played for the second time for them in this series. And yeah, ladies, let's head into this. Nothing left against Go Next. A 2-0 lead already for Nothing Left as they're trying to drop their opponent again on Volskaya Foundry and win the series with a 3-0. Let's find out on Volskaya if they can actually pull that off. Game number 3 and potentially even the last game of this series. I mean, right now we're looking at Nothing Left with a really cool... I mean, generally just a track record, right? They played so well in the previous games, especially around the Vikings, that it's a bit rough for Go Next, but they have a full wombo combo right now. It's not only that we're seeing Toulouse on Diablo, Kelvin on Jaina, and Galaxy on Zeratul. On top of that, you have the additional silence from Skynox on Stukov, heading again on level 1 into the reactive Ballistospores that we've seen from him a few times. Copenhagen on Leoric, and for Nothing Left, it's Podibos on Blaze, Linked on Tyrande, DAB on Phoenix, we have Bleak Kidney on Li Ming, and we see Mopsio on Anubarak. So again, this aggressive setup around the Anubarak engage with the Tyrande follow-up. If Bleak Kidney can capitalize on those moves with a good reset kill and DAB chipping in too with the damage, and they're in a decent position for that. But yeah, I'm actually a little bit intrigued to see if they can turn this around. Go Next with the attempt. By the way, I also double-checked with the players since we were a little bit all over the place with what's happening with Wit here. At the beginning, thinking that it was only a sub-play today, then heard that there were personal problems, which indicated a bit that there were problems within the team. But Toulouse actually confirmed, he didn't name any reasons, but he confirmed that Wit is currently taking a bit of a break. Generally speaking, so that's one of the reasons why they're shifting around. Early kill against Stukov already. Alright, so that was a quick one. Stukov down, Mopsio taking some damage, but nowhere near being dropped. And Toulouse actually eats a lot more damage, and unfortunately... Oh, they might... What? Toulouse survives! Yeah, the synergy between Linked and Mopsio wasn't really perfect there. Link was already ready for the first stun, and then Mopsio stuns out Diablo just a moment before that stun connects. So if both of them would have connected, if one of them would have waited, then they could have gotten the kill here. But as it happens, they couldn't quite manage to do that. It's still a good opening here for the team in red. Obviously, we're having now that the turrets have spawned, both of them going straight for the camp. And now it's just a question of who makes the play for the healing beacon. Does anybody make the play for the healing beacon in the first place? You have some damage against Leoric at the bottom of the map, as Copenhagen is going to try and take down the trash here, aka the lane minions. But we're having the... Jaina, yeah, that's really tough. Nice jet propulsion and the kill. Yeah, she just doesn't have an escape tool ready in a moment like this. And that's the second kill now, 4-0 left, so job well done by them. Really nice. And obviously the first thing that happens right after Jaina gets dropped is a rotation towards the camp. So they are going to try and take the healing beacon now. Toulouse gets attacked once the T starts to come in. And the jet propulsion stun just misses, but it doesn't even matter. They still get the kill here. And they also keep the aggro on the mech itself. And that's now a healing beacon. That's the third kill. Guys, they're looking fantastic here. At this point, they're looking absolutely stellar as we're heading into objective number 1 in this series. And yeah, on this map. The early level 7 would also help them to secure this if there's ever a fight over it. The vigorous uptake, or re-uptake by the way, that's what we're having from Stukov now. But with the control point unlocking, that's a bit of trouble, and Copenhagen gets now attacked too. It's a lot of damage on him already, which also helps them. I mean, again, it forces you to either tap the fountain, or if you don't have the cooldown anymore, you're on half health as you enter the fight itself, which isn't really easy to deal with anyways. So now we're having the control already claimed. Level 7 talents again are going to deliver that power spike. Zeratul is up at the top. But especially since we're looking at Galaxy right now, the one thing that I want to point out... Ooh, that's a kill. Oh, it literally is the last hit that drops him. But what I wanted to point out is that obviously level 10 is where the full force of Go Next is really going to be able to hit nothing left. It's the wombo combo that you already base a lot of your hopes on when you're going for this particular setup. And obviously you're hoping to get into level 10 on eye level with your opponent and not being this far behind at that point. But still, it's really the wombo that matters. So this game isn't over by any means. If we have a couple of good team fights around objective number 2, for example, and a good combo execution from Go Next, they can still go for easy team fights here. But there's another item about to be taken, and in this case it's actually the Punisher or the Protector jumping in too, and nearly a kill against Galaxy, who still had Blink available, was able to move out. But yep, they're grabbing the item. It was an exchange of turrets, but one extra one obviously now in the hands of Nothing Left, and they rotate bot lane. They're already so far down that they're prepping for objective number 3 now. The traditional rotation is the one towards the top, but we have actually seen this from Nothing Left once in the past. They're prepping for the third objective more so than for the second. In this case, I could have seen them actually start to do a rotation topside, but with their camping fought over the way it was, they are making this rotation instead. And even though they don't go for the fountain yet, with them opening up the wall, they can claim this whenever they want to, and they still have the pressure on all the other lanes as well. So you can actually see that they're taking not only the middle, about to also now drop the fountain here, so that's even more lanes staying gone, and Li Ming has been active during all of this up towards the top lane, and has now started to nearly drop the entire wall as well. And as you can see down here, it's nearly an eliminated fort. The fight, on the other hand, might be a problem. DAB, on the other hand, isn't really being hit. The Singularity Spike connects with him, but not so much the cleave itself. The healing beacon was, on the other hand, forced out as Blakidney nearly died. If they can get the kill against Toulouse, that would be great. And they ooh, nice silence. That lurking arm actually saved Toulouse. That was a really good one. That would have been pretty amazing if they could get the kill against Diablo at least. But the level 10 will allow them to push very aggressively regardless, and obviously they're so far ahead that this is not something that Go Next can in any way fight. So yep, there's the level 10 with, oh, Planet Cracker! Okay, they have a lot of stuns here and they're gonna go full on for the Planet Cracker value. Now Blaze is actually in full vision of this down here at the bottom. They make the rotation. He's willing to take this for a bit longer. Yeah, Kelvin gets already shredded into the ground. Cracker value right there. and they're taking the item as they're looking for even more kills. Having Leo in an attempt to escape here, but the Kidney is not following it up too hard. But now obviously a chance after they drop the fort at the top lane to also go for the one in the middle. And they're going for Diablo again, for Leoric. Same universe, different hero. Yeah, good damage against him, and there's the jet propulsion stun, and even more damage against Copenhagen, and that should be a kill, especially now with DAB moving in too. So they have another one, an easy peasy. Here in the middle, the pressure against the 4. Down at the bottom, they can obviously now take down at least the fountain and therefore prep for objective number 3. Top lane has already been destroyed. I mean, if you look at the map, it's a disaster for Go Next. But they have level 10 now. They now have level 10. Leo gets attacked again, and I actually think he's going to get a bit more trade value here. Indeed, that's the case. But there's the VP. There's the VP against 2. There's the APOC, and there's the kill. Li Ming is dead, and they go for DAB, who actually warps out. Wow! He's able to get away. Zeratul not following that up yet, but that's exactly the combo that we've been talking about. And guess who has this Entomb ready? It is Leo. And we should see that any second. Nope. Yep, there we go. Down goes Blaze, and that's the end of Tyrande right here. So 3 kills, 1 good setup, 1 good combo, and 3 of them are down. And that's exactly the ticket back into the game that we've been talking about for so long. Now you look at the map, at the mini-map, and obviously it's a disaster for Go Next. They have pretty much lost every single outer structure. This fort is the only thing that's still in play, and only barely, so at least there's no catapults pushing at the bottom of the map. But everywhere else you have to deal with the pressure eventually. Now it is a 5 versus 5, and the level 13 talent will give Nothing Left an advantage heading into the top fight and top objective. The matter of the fact is still that with those heroics coming back up again, if you hit a good Void Prison, then you can still dominate this. Now there's a couple of tools to play around with it. First of all, we have Cocoon. That's number 1. So there's a couple of ways how you can play this. First of all, you will see, for example, Zeratul coming in and dropping the VP, and one of the things you can do is simply Cocoon Zeratul, and then you can't open it up, so that might mess up the timing. If you catch Jaina with it, she can't drop the Ring of Frost, and so on and so forth. So there are multiple targets with this. But then you're having also Li Ming, you can use the Wave of Force, you're having the Fortified Bunker, or the Bunker, later the Fortified Bunker. So there's definitely a couple of tools that we have for Nothing Left where they can play around it. And the best way obviously would be to not stack on the at any point, and make sure that that VP is never really going to be a problem. But again, we're having down to the bottom of the map, Phoenix pushing this out, and yeah, this could still fall. Items are now also taken. And they have quite a few of those. I mean, at this point, we're having them with 2 turrets against 1, so that is already a big lead for them. And now they're starting to move in up towards the top here. Zeratul already getting sniffed out there. Copenhagen is already sitting in position. There's a stun into the wall. Taluf eats a bit of damage. Where's the combo? There's the stun. There's the damage with the Blizzard. Entomb doesn't hit anything. And they're rushing away just before Zeratul can use a VP at any point there, but still good damage. And there's the setup against Copenhagen. The potential kill against Leoric as he's trying to stay alive here, but Leo is down. Trade value activated. The problem is that we're still seeing the kill through Jaina against the Nuburak, and there's the 3-man VP, and the Ring of Frost, the Ring of Reckoning, the Ring of Disaster, the Ring of Pain, and they all die. And that might even include Blakidney. No, he's still out. So yeah, that's exactly what we've talked about. Level 10, the game changer for them. First the Nuburak dies, no more Cocoon, then they stack up, 3 get hit by the Void Prison, and all of a sudden it's the full-on Wombo right there. Nicely done. Great setup again by Zeratul. And yeah, all of a sudden we're talking 7 kills against 8. We're talking about 1 protector that they're gonna win for sure. And yeah, with the fort at the bottom of the map fallen, at least there's still a structural advantage for Nothing Left, but they are starting to lose a lot of ground on this map now too. Top lane gets attacked. This is still, I want to see where he goes with this later, because again, this might be a bit of a questionable choice still if you want to prep for the objective at the bottom of the map. Now with the 13, we still have the viral interaction here. Mopsio is already sitting at the side. They're trying to get some damage in. Link needs to move away from this. But they're burning that protector down pretty quickly. And that brings us back to a certain Dragon Knight on Dragonshire that we've seen earlier, where Go Next did get nothing. Now at least it seems like they're at least getting the top fort. question is just simply what do you do with that top 4? 16 is ready on both sides, which gives us the Void Slash now. We're also having the Vox Populi. And in the mid back line, there's the attack against Jaina. Nice ice block, well done, but Planet Cracker. Yeah, that's the problem. You might dodge the damage of Li Ming, but you're pretty much just putting a bullseye on your head where Phoenix can simply use his ult and drop you. And now we're having the insta-kill. Oh, nice! At least the kill against Li Ming. But we have still a 4 versus 3. Galaxy dies 2 on the Zeratul, so only 2 survivors at this point. And Diablo, guess what? He's not gonna make it either. He can't just move out from this one. Jet Propulsion might miss, but he doesn't have Hellgate. He can't jump away. He doesn't have 20. And that's 4 heroes down. Ults weren't even used in most of these cases since they were locked down the entire time. But this is absolutely insane right now. 12 kills against 4, and they're just showcasing that they have what it takes to turn this back around. Especially, of course, with the Epicenter on Anubarak, there's another massive tool for them. Move around here towards Taluf as they're getting another kill secured, and Diablo dies for the second time. This time he's down for the count. In the previous kill he only lost his stacks on the souls, but this time it hurts a lot more. And they're going straight in again. Camps taken, items taken, prepping for objective number 3, still taking the map here. Let's take a look at the damage output. 31,000 for Phoenix, 30,000 for Li Ming. Diablo actually is sitting at 25,000, the same damage numbers that we're having on Jaina, but it's simply not enough. Yes, things are tough right now. Zeratul needs another great setup. If they can get another Wombo through, then obviously they have a chance, but now Zeratul gets also pinged because they want to lock him down here, and guys, he is not gonna make it. No. There's a 5-man commitment for Zeratul, and yes, now that the Owl connects too, he can blink around a little bit, but at the end of the day, he is going to fall. Galaxy is up at the top, and that's going to be the end of him. Zeratul's stayed a little bit too long. But that's also one of these things. If you play against worse teams, they won't be able to lock you down. They won't even make the attempt. In this case, they do. Yep, there's a quick burn. Okay, DAB used the cooldown here. You know why? Because he can. It's pretty much that. So they take that out. And now we're having, obviously, outside of the fact that they're pretty much rocking every single item that is possibly available at this point for them. Also, the massive lead in experience. I mean, you look at it, level 19.5 against 18. Camps taken on the map now too. And Noob getting closer and closer to complete his own quest on level 1, which will allow him to rely on an even bigger hit point pool. There's the stuns. They're going for the fight here. Cocoon on the ground. Body blocks as well. Taluf in trouble. And the stuns should be back up in a moment. And there's the kill against Stukov. Yep, that's 1 kill. Can they get the second? Kelvin with a nice dodge again with the ice block. But he's the only survivor. Instead, it's Diablo that has fallen in the middle. Galaxy's trying to get a little bit of Void Slash damage in, but that's already about it. 10 seconds until we see the objective spawn, and they're already working through the wall here. With 2 heroes down, they have an opportunity to maybe even take the keep if they want to push this forward even more. It's 30 seconds, and there's not even a support there. You have a Void Prison and you have a Ring of Frost, and that's all that you can talk about. But it's literally just all that they have right now. I don't think we're going to see an approach for the core. That would be a little bit too optimistic. But they can definitely go for the objective since they're now rocking the Storm Talents, and the Anubarak has also his quest completed. And actually moves down to the bottom. They're not even going for the objective. They're already trying to work through the wall here. Another item is up. They already hold 2 healing beacons. They hold, if I'm not mistaken, also 1 turret. And that's the second one that they just claimed. But oh boy, is that spelling trouble for Go Next. 16 kills against 8. No level 20 on the map. They need a Wombo, and they need it soon. And it needs to destroy 2-3 heroes at least. I mean, at this point, we're having a lot of issues for the blue team. They're trying to get 20. They're trying to get the Storm Talents. And with that, it's pretty much a choice that they already made, that they will give up on the objective itself. Which is risky. It is honestly risky. Actually, might just work out. Leo's still at the top. Now, if you give up on the objective, obviously the nothing of setup is going to try and end the game here. It's then becoming a question of whether you can set the Wombo up behind the Protector at some point and get 2 or 3 heroes killed. Level 20 is going to be there. There's a Planet Cracker again. that didn't really do anything. But since he obviously is about to enter the Protector, there's nothing really that he needs to do with that. So Protector is already pushing through. Again, one keep down in the middle, and they're going to try and make the play here. Jet Propulsion missing on the other hand, and now we have the Buried Alive. Keep that in mind. Cold Snap too. And here we go. Copenhagen in trouble. Cocoon on the ground against Zeratul, and the kill against Leo. No big plays by him here. So Zeratul on the other hand is looking for some action. Doesn't find it. Instead it's Jaina who dies. Not even the ring being used. Zeratul about to drop in the back lane, but over here the main action is headed towards Skynox, who's dropping on a Stukov. He dies, Teloof is running, and that should be the end of Diablo and possibly also the end of the game here. They're not even wasting any more time with the keep, and why would they? The one in the mid lane has already been taken out. A little bit of a dance action there, and now we have it. That's game. That's the series. A 3-0 victory for nothing left as they take down Go Next here. Job well done by them. Fantastic third game in particular. And obviously the Vikings performance that we've seen earlier by Podeboss and the way the team played around it was pretty enjoyable and actually pretty sweet. The lineup changed on the side of Go Next. They definitely will need some time to adjust, but nothing left today, just proving a bit too strong here as they take the victory in this best of 5 in Division S. GG, and well played.